Okay. Well, thank you first of all for inviting me. This is a huge honor, and I've been living out here in Portugal now for 4 years, and absolutely love this country. It's welcoming, it's beautiful, the food is amazing. So thank you for letting me be part of your amazing country. So my topic today is to talk to you about bulletproofing your career and building those strategies for success. And so I've been working in the tech industry now for, oh gosh, like 15 years, a long, long time. I was with Microsoft for at least 13 of those years. And so I've seen people being hired in engineering backgrounds, go to market in the sales backgrounds. And that's been across Asia and also more recently here in EMEA, so Europe, Middle East, and Africa. But what I'd like to do is really help you create 6 actionable strategies that can help you future-proof your career. And as you've just heard from the previous speaker, it's a rapidly and fast-changing world. And so lots going on. So it really is about being flexible, about being adaptable. And the idea is that you need to be thinking about how you can remain relevant, how you can remain adaptable, and most importantly, resilient in your career. So finally, I'll give you some practical steps as to how you can actually do this as well. Now, it looks like my slides are showing. That's great, but I still have my eyes shut. I'm definitely wide open. I'm really happy about that. So why is this important to you? Why are we talking about, and this is common for everywhere, is the only constant in tech is change. And we've got rapid technology changes which are disrupting what was considered a traditional career path. And it's about how can you find those right strategies so you can position yourself to succeed despite what's happening in industry. And COVID was a great example of that. Suddenly, we all went from working in offices to being able to work remotely. So who knows what is coming around the corner? So let's start diving in then to what those strategies are. And here's the first of the 6. My first one then is about adopting a growth mindset. Many of you on this call already will probably be really familiar with this phrase anyway. There's a great book by Professor or Dr. Carol Dweck. And if you can imagine, I'm actually showing the book to you, although my video is not working. And it's all about the mindsets and talks very much about the difference between being growth mindset and fixed mindset. And when I come to this part of the presentation, growth mindset to me is about being a learn-it-all, not a know-it-all. And it's important that we embrace learning, throughout everything we do. It doesn't stop at school. It doesn't stop at university or college or wherever you're going. It's about continuing that journey throughout your career, throughout your experience. And you might do that in the form of enrolling in an online course or a workshop. You might be taking seminars. The very fact that everybody's here today, in fact, is that clearly demonstrating your interest and curiosity about what's happening in the Portuguese career market, job market. So it's really important that that continues. And I remember one of our industry leaders, this is back a few years ago now, but one of the things he would always look to do was actually look to embrace his failures. And in his office, he had a whiteboard, and it was, he would call it the failure board. And he would write on it things that hadn't gone well, and he would invite other colleagues as well to do exactly the same, so that they could reflect on what hadn't gone well, so that they could learn fast, get back up on their feet, and make it better next time. I know personally as well that when I've received feedback and it's been critical, maybe harsh, it's something that's only helped me to grow and develop myself forward. So don't look at failures as opportunities. There is always something to learn. And you'll see in all my slides here, I've got a little challenge for you. So you see down the bottom there. So think about a recent career challenge. How could you turn that into a growth opportunity? So these are just suggestions for you as you go through. My next strategy then is around networking. And this is absolutely critical. And I know a lot of people think, oh gosh, that's just filling me with absolute dread. Why would I want to go out and meet a whole group of strangers? That's just the worst thing. Others, like myself, it's like, oh, new people, exciting. So we can all be very different. But it's not just about collecting business cards, it's about building genuine relationships. So it's a two-way street, and it's just as important that you're offering assistance and support to those connections, as well as people being able to offer you advice. And if you are somebody who doesn't like that face-to-face part, and you much prefer, although the forced networking situations, there's some other tricks that you can use to help build your network. And it might be around seeking mentorship or guidance. So perhaps there's somebody in your organization that can mentor you. Perhaps there's somebody in your family network or friendship network, somebody's parents, perhaps they could mentor you. In your work environment as well, maybe there are challenging projects that you could volunteer for or stretch assignments. So by working across different business groups, you will start to naturally build out your network. So seeking those opportunities. A great one here in Portugal is the Europe Career Support Group. I'm not sure how many of you have joined this session. Highly worthwhile being a member of right now today. I think the slides will come out to you later. There's a link in the slides here, and I can certainly put it in the chat at the end. But it's a group here across all over Europe, and you can connect with both people hiring as well as people who are looking for work. And so something certainly very positive here right now, and very simple to go ahead and be a part of. Okay. So again, it's about being nimble. It's about being tech savvy and future-proofed. Now, of course, you can go on and take qualifications. Makes complete sense, and you're probably doing that very much as part of your day-to-day role, keeping yourself up to date with the new technologies or coding platforms as they come through, coding languages, sorry. But also think about the trends or the skills that are required for the future world of work. So the World Economic Forum Future Jobs Report talks specifically about a group of skills that are going to be required by the time we reach 2025, which is very shortly going to be around the corner. And they list out analytical thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategies, the ability to solve complex problems, being able to demonstrate critical thinking, and most importantly, resilience, stress tolerance, and flexibility. So there's lots of ideas from this. It's not just the hard skills, the technology skills. It needs to be those soft skills as well. They are just as important, if not more so. Okay. So the next strategy, and again, I could talk about this subject for ever, but luckily there is a session coming up a little bit later on with Joanna, and talking about your online branding. But this is really, really important. And I'll tell you why. The first thing that people will do, a recruiter, a hiring manager, they're going to go to your LinkedIn profile. I'm sure that many of you already have gone to my LinkedIn profile, to see who is this person. So it's absolutely critical for your success. It's there, it's working in the background for you. And so if you are only passively out there in the market, keeping your online brand up to date, relevant, including perhaps different blogs that you're part of or speaking engagements, people are going to come in and see you and know exactly who you are. The online brand or your LinkedIn profile can be a direct reflection of your resume, and because of things like GDPR, more people are going to see your LinkedIn profile because you've officially shared that on a public domain. But people who will see your resume are only going to be those where you've specifically applied for a role or you have specifically sent your resume to that person. So your LinkedIn profile is critical. So I encourage you to attend that session and really go back and audit your online presence. Does it really reflect your true skills and your ambitions? Okay. So I think we've touched upon this. It comes throughout all these strategies, but it's that ability to be flexible an ability to be adaptable. And there are many different ways that the traditional career path is changing. You might have been hearing the phrase fractional, and that could be like a fractional software engineer, it could be a fractional CEO. People are doing roles now, they don't necessarily happen to be full-time, they could be portfolio roles. So you could be working for a number of different clients. But be open to those ideas. And I just want to talk to you about one of my past clients, a young gentleman who grew up here in Portugal, actually. He's a software engineer. And the way that he helped his career to grow, he originally started working for a non-for-profit where he was developing a mobile app which supported mental health. And he enjoyed his role, but wanted to do so much more with his life, with his career. So he firstly explored in his own organization and looked to find opportunities where he could showcase his talent, showcase his skills. So he did things like providing research and analytics to help the founders of the organization, develop stronger opportunities or improve productivity. He and I then had a long conversation as well about how he could prepare his online branding. And what he shared was that he was passionate about venture capitalism, how he could move more into, helping tech organizations and startups evolve. And so he did things like create blogs. And today he's very passionate about climate change specifically. And so he has since moved on from that original non-for-profit and is working with an organization which is helping to reduce carbon emissions. And one of the little techniques that you can look to use is having on your LinkedIn profile, there's an opportunity for you to showcase your website and showcase your services. So lots of ideas there. My last strategy then for success is, and this is something that I can remember my mother sharing with me saying, have you done your accounts? Have you done your finance? And I remember ignoring her for many, many years. But in this world, it is so dynamic. And again, I was myself personally experienced redundancy. You never know when it's going to happen. And the tech industry is no stranger to this. There's been a huge amount of redundancies over the last 2 to 3 years. So if you can provide that cushion for yourselves so that you can, weather that storm or not take the role because you need the money to come through. It's a role that you want to do. Your role is not going to be a painful experience. You have the opportunity to do something that you love. So there are different apps out there that you can go and try. And as a suggestion, and I'll just put that caveat in, I'm not a financial advisor by any stretch of the imagination. But what the advice typically is to try and arrange to have around 6 months of living expenses. That sounds like a huge amount, but just to help you weather that storm in that eventuality. Hopefully that won't happen. So what next then? What are the direct steps? What are the direct actions that you can be doing? Goal setting goals, really, really important. If you write it down, it's going to happen. I'm sure you're all familiar with a SMART goal, smart, measurable, actionable targets. So if you can write it down, work with a partner, work with a mentor, work with me, how you can create those career goals. See if there's somebody in your network who would be a great mentor. Who do you admire? Who would you like to learn from? Feedback, ask for feedback. It's the breakfast of champions. You're going to learn so much. It can be hard. It can take a while just to digest and take a next step from, but it's going to help you to grow. And again, keeping yourself abreast of what is happening in the industry. So attending events like this, engaging in online platforms, exploring more about what's happening in the industry around you. So in summary then of the 6 strategies, it's about adopting that growth mindset, the learn it all attitude. It's looking to build your networks, whether that's face-to-face in events like this, or whether it's through mentorship, whether it's through projects within your own work environment. It's keeping ahead of the technology, what's happening, what's going to be next. Building your personal brand, making sure that you remain flexible and adaptable So thinking ahead about, what might be going on in the world, in Portugal, in the next 3 to 6 months, how can you be that person with those skills that future employers are going to be looking for? Creating that financial and career resilience and writing this down, putting it in black and white, putting it at the front of a notebook, maybe as a screensaver, however it works for you. You go where you look. So the career, my quote here, your career is a marathon and not a sprint. So you're planning here for the long haul and you need to adapt for whatever conditions are going to be coming your way. A little bit like our technology here at the beginning of this session. So I think we've got maybe a couple of minutes, Tripsy. If there are any specific questions, maybe just time for one. So there's a question here from Kaja. Saying, I'm failing to crack interviews as my profile isn't moving to a manager round. I have a profile in Medium and I keep updating, nothing happening. My profile just reaches HR after the first round, nothing much. One of the things I'm seeing more and more at the moment is I saw a recent survey and it was with HR and recruiters saying, how do you recruit? And what's happening today, because of AI, candidates
Hello. Hi, guys. I am assuming Anna is facing the internet issue again. Anna, can you hear us? Um, all right. So guys, we have multiple sessions lined up for you all, right? So, and you can meet Anna at her table in the lounge area if you have any questions. And hi there, I think I can hear you.
I can hear you, I
I
can
can
see
see
you.
you.
Oh, you can see me at last.
Wonderful. So now, guys, we all can see Anna, and I'm pretty sure everybody has questions for you, but we are running a little late, which is why we'd love to have them in your table in the lounge area. So you can connect with Anna there. She has a table. You can go chat with her. You can get all your questions answered. You can connect and network with her. So build your relationship and get your coaching started already. Right. And thank you, Anna, for handling it so
I will
well
do
and
that.
sharing your presentation. It was indeed amazing. And yeah, it was pleasure having you with us today. Thank you so much for making this happen, despite of the issue that we faced earlier in the beginning
Thank
of the
you.
session.
And I appreciate your patience and only being able to see me at the end. It's probably a better way to do it anyway. So I look forward to meeting as many of you as possible on the networking roundtable.
Yes, absolutely. And she has shared some details here. You can grab the links from there and you can meet her at her table. Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you, everyone, for your cooperation. I will see you all in the next session. Bye bye.
All right. Thank you.